Hi, my name is Jared. This is Kimberly with Protective Enclosures Company. First, we want to thank you for the purchase of the TV Shield Pro enclosure. Today, we're going to go over the installation instructions with you, along with tools needed and parts included with the enclosure. Okay, first things first, just want to go over with you. Once you unbox the unit, get it to the location you're going to be working on it, you just want to make sure that you go ahead and unlock the unit on both sides. We do send it locked for shipping purposes. Once you have it unlocked, go ahead and just lift up the front panel. You're going to find all of your included parts and hardware and things like that inside. All right, we're going to go ahead and go over the tools required for the installation of the TV Shield Pro unit. First, stud finder. That's just if you're going into like a drywall application though. Obviously, if you're going into any exterior block or stucco application, it's not needed. Drill, needle nose pliers. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, also a 5/16 socket and socket wrench, bubble level, and tape measure. Those are the tools required for installation of the product. All right, we're going to go ahead and go over the parts included with the enclosure. Of course, you have the enclosure itself, which is a couple different parts. There's a front frame, there's a back plate, interior mount. We'll get to some of that stuff and how you pull it apart for installation purposes. Also, what you're going to have is your vertical mounting arms that are going to attach to the actual television themselves in the interior mount. Your gas shock system. You do have some large nylon spacers. Now these are used for direct flush mount installation, which is not a recommended way, but it is a way that you can install the unit. So we do provide those for you, along with E-clips. So you have 2 1/4-inch E-clips. Those are for shocks. Also you have 3, sometimes 4, depending on the size of the unit, smaller E-clips that go on the hinges. Very important these get installed, so make sure you have all the clips, make sure you save them, and you install them at the correct locations. You also have your hardware pack, which has the 4, 5, 6, and 8 millimeter screws for mounting the television to our internal mount, and an additional set of keys inside. Those are the parts included with the enclosure. All right, step 1, if you haven't already unlocked the unit, the bottom 2 locks, make sure you do that with the supplied key. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and lift the front frame, and we're going to be removing the entire front frame off of the unit by shifting it over, and just go ahead and lift it right off and set it to the side. All right, step 2, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the cable pass-through hood. What you're going to need is your 5/16 socket wrench, and we're going to remove all 4 of the nuts from the cable pass-through. I've already removed a couple of them to make this a little quicker, but let's remove that last one. Go ahead and pop off the cable pass-through hood. You just set that off to the side, and now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and run all of your power cables out. So there is a power strip inside the unit, 12-foot cord, commercial grade power strip that comes with the enclosure. You're definitely going to want to run that out of the enclosure at this point. Once power cord is pulled through, you want to install any other cables that you're going to need. So if you're running HDMI into the TV or a cable box, if you're running any type of speaker wire out, because maybe you're installing a speaker system and you're housing the amplifier inside the unit, just any cables that you're going to need for your installation, you want to go ahead and install now. So you're going to run them into the unit and just kind of leave them loose in there. Make sure you pull enough through to get to your TV or whatnot. And then you're just going to go ahead and reinstall the cable pass-through by putting it back on, reinstalling the 4 nuts and washers, and just make sure you do tighten it down. Don't over tighten it, but that's going to go ahead and seal up all your cables. Make sure there's no bugs, dirt, dust, rain that can get in. Step 3, what you're going to do is go ahead and put the base plate face down, and we're going to go ahead and install the vertical brackets from the separately sold mount. What you're going to use is 8 millimeter hardware or screws that came with your separately sold mount to go into the back of the base plate. So you'll see there's 4 female threaded riv nuts in the back of the unit that take 8mm hardware. So all you're going to do is go ahead and take your mount bracket and install the 8mm screws that came with it. Go ahead and tighten them down. Now you're going to go ahead and just put the base plate with the already installed brackets from your separately sold mount. Just going to go ahead and mount it just like you would any standard TV per the mounting instructions of your bracket, and that's step 3. All right, we're gonna move on to step 4. There are multiple segments that make up step 4. So we're gonna go through those one by one. First, what you wanna do is you just wanna go ahead and lay your TV face down. Do lay it down on something soft. You don't wanna lay it down with anything in the middle of the TV or on a pillow or anything like that. You could crack the screen. So lay your TV face down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and measure the total height of the TV to get the center vertical line of your television. So what I want to do is just go ahead and measure the TV at 26 inches. So I just want to go ahead and make a mark at 13 inches on my TV. I like using a pencil just because you can actually see it against black. So that's part 1 and 2 of step 4. Okay, we're going to go over part 3, 4, and 5 of step 4. First, you want to go ahead and grab your vertical brackets that we provided to you with the enclosure. You'll see on here that it actually has a centerline sticker on it. That's important. What we're going to do is we're actually going to line up that center line of your vertical bracket with the mark that you made on the TV, where you made the mark when you measured the TV height, went to the center of the TV. You're going to go ahead and line up the center line of your bracket with the mark that you made. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use spacers here because I have a raised area on the bottom of my TV. So I want this bracket to sit flat, and it won't sit flat sitting on the back of the TV because I have this raised area. So I'm going to go ahead and take the spacers out of the hardware that we gave you. Now this hardware has 4, 5, 6, and 8mm studs in it, along with some different spacers which I just showed you. This is hardware that we provide with the enclosure. So you're gonna, if you don't know the actual screw size that you need, you can go ahead and take them out, try one by one in the back of the TV until you find the screw size. Go ahead and remove it, and then we're going to install the bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and put my spacers down. Now if you don't have a raised area, you're not going to need to use spacers. And I'm then going to line up the center line of the TV with the mark that I made. I have the washers down, and I'm just going to go ahead and install the hardware. Of course, there is longer hardware in there for this type of situation where you're using a spacer. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those in. One note here, make sure that the locking mechanism that we loosened earlier is to the outside of the TV. So you don't want that on the inside, or you're not going to be able to get to it once we install this TV. So as long as that's to the outside, I'm going to go ahead and tighten those down, repeat for the other side, and then we'll move on to the next part. Part 6 of step 4 is you're going to go ahead and just hook the TV on the internal mount. Now what you'll see is there's 3 different hooks on the internal bracket, or on the vertical bracket. We're going to go ahead and you want to put it on the center hook. So we're just going to go ahead and hook that on center. And we're going to do at this point is make sure that the TV is centered vertically and horizontally. So with that, you're just going to go ahead and push it back. And then I just want to look at if I have the same distance to the top, the same distance to the bottom, which I do. And then I want to make sure left to right I'm the same, which I'm looking on this side. I'm just about there, not maybe shift over just a little bit. And that's part 6 of step 4. All right, this is part 7 of step 4. What we're going to do is the beautiful thing about this enclosure is you do have this full internal mount. So you can actually shift the TV out. It helps with a lot of stuff. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and shift the locking mechanism back up, tighten it down. That's going to make sure it just locks the TV to the internal bracket. Just a note here, if you do have a heavier TV, you're using a 70 or an 80 inch with our larger enclosures, you may want to tighten these pivot points on the internal mount, just so whenever you have the heavier televisions inside, they tend to want to shift forward, especially if you have the entire unit in any type of tilt. When you're on a real light TV, it doesn't tend to do that. So you just take Allen wrenches, you can tighten all these different pivot points. So that's just a note. And that's the end of step 4. Step 5, what you're going to do is you're going to install any power cords, HDMI cables, anything else that you had either running into the unit, or of course I just plugged in the power cord to the TV. I'm going to go ahead and run that to the power supply. So of course we have that commercial grade internal power strip. You can plug all your components in. The reason you don't see anything on this one is because this is a smart TV. So I'm actually not using any cable boxes or any other components. But the unit is built where you have 2.4 inches of interior depth where you can put any type of other components that you need. Cable boxes, amplifiers, mini PCs, just anything. So it's a really nice application where you can put that type of stuff in here. It's going to protect it from all the elements. But that's step 5. All right, step 6, we're going to go ahead and reinstall the front frame. So all we're going to do is there is the male hinges up here. Of course, there's female hinges running across the frame. So we're just going to lift it up. You can actually set it down if you need to, briefly. Line up the hinges and boom, slide it right over. And now what we're going to do is install the E-clips. Again, this is a really important part, so you're not, every time you're opening and closing, this thing isn't wanting to shift off. Really easy, just take a pair of needle nose pliers, grab the E-clip at the end, and you'll see there's a groove at the end of each one of these hinges. Just going to pop it in there, and that's it, that's on. You're going to repeat that for the others. Okay, step 7, what we're going to do is install the gas shocks. Pretty simple. What you're going to do is just pop that one on. You're going to go ahead and put this side on, which is an eyelet bracket. You're just going to go ahead and slip that on, and you're going to install the E-clip. You're going to go ahead and repeat that for the other side. Okay, step 8, what you're going to do is plug in the power supply to the fan receiver. So you're just going to take the part that's on the base plate or the back plate. You're going to go ahead and jump it, plug it in, and set your desired thing here. Well, what that is you have a toggle switch which will give you a constant on for the fan systems or a thermostatically controlled setting. So go ahead and flip it to whichever one you want. We recommend thermostatically controlled. If you're in a real hot environment and not a real dusty environment, you might want to just set it to on, but it's completely up to you. So that's step 8. All right, step 9, guys, just final prep. What you want to do, of course, the unit has this awesome interior full motion, full swivel mount, gives you depth, height adjustment, and gives you that swivel ability. But what you want to do is, because we have an anti-glare standard front panel on this, the closer you are to the screen, the better the picture is going to be. So you can adjust this out. Now what happens is, once you shut this, if you're a little too far back, you can just lift it up, scoot your TV out a little bit, and get it pretty close to that front panel. The other thing you want to do is you just want to make sure that you're bumping up your backlight, your contrast, you know, whatever your lighting system is on your particular TV. Make sure you bump that way up. Go to your custom settings, or at least go to Vivid, and bump all the settings up. That's really going to help with in an exterior environment where there's a lot of sun, a lot of glare, things like that. So one thing that can cut through is having a bright screen. Other than that, you're going to go ahead and remove the protective coverings. I removed the bottom one. Just still have to go ahead and remove the front. And the last thing is cleaning. If you need to clean the unit after you've installed it, just make sure that you're not using any abrasive material. You don't want to use paper towels or anything like that. You definitely want to use some type of microfiber cloth, and water is ideal. But we do have some additional cleaning instructions and cleaning products that are recommended within your instruction manual. So other than that, we want to say thank you for your purchase of the TV Shield Pro, and have a wonderful day.